Okay, everybody, welcome back. Part 3, preparing for the passing of a spouse. And we're going to talk about a financial assessment this time. This is really important to get to understand your finances. The first couple of videos in this series talked about some of the basics that we have to do. We've got the accounting and all the list of accounts and all that type of stuff. And then from the financial document standpoint, what we need there. So let's talk about financial situations. Okay, how much will the income change? We need to start answering some of these questions and taking a realistic look at what our finances look like. How does your income change? Will you lose one of the Social Securities? Typically, the higher of the two survives. If you waited till full retirement age to take your Social Security or beyond, then you'll get the higher of the two Social Securities. How much savings will you have left? Okay, get a general idea. You don't need to dig into the finances and know everything right now. What you do need to do is give yourself a sense of security. Give yourself at least a basic understanding so you're not left in a lurch and wondering if you're going to be able to survive one more day. Okay, what will the total bills look like? Okay, so how much resources, how much money do you have? What kind of income do you have now? What do your bills look like? Do you have to spend $2,000 a month, $10,000 a month? It's amazing how many times I ask the question, how much do you really have in bills that you have to pay? And I get answers all over the board, and some of them are, I don't know. That's not an okay answer. We should have it within $1,000 a month. We should know what our bills look like. Okay, I'm not asking down to the penny. I'm asking what area, are we talking 1,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month? What do your bills look like? You should have a better idea than I do. Then how much real estate equity do we have? Are we in debt? Is there a mortgage on the house? What's our real estate look like? And then long-term care coverage and resources. What was the plan for long-term care? Do we have a policy? Do we have the resources? How am I going to fund long-term care? Because I'll be real honest, especially later in life, if you lose your spouse, the surviving spouse typically goes to some form of assisted living fairly quickly. And again, that's later in life. Okay. So the other part of this is the basic math I go through in a lot of videos. Okay. Put your age on there. Okay, if you have a spouse that's ill and you're worried about their passing and you're trying to just calm yourself down with finances, this is really going to help. Put your age. In the example here, I have 65. Put your total savings. How much money do you guys have saved? Lump it all together in one lump dollar amount. Then subtract your age from 100. That tells you how many years you have until you're 100 years old. We're assuming you're going to live to 100. You want to do 90, that's fine. I always do 100 because we seem to live longer than we think we will. Okay? That math, all we got to do, take a little calculator out, divide total savings by how many years we have left. $1 million divided by 35 years left is $28,000 every year. What that number tells us is that we can spend $28,000 every single year, and that's if we earn nothing. Okay? Earning nothing is very easy to do. Take all your money out in $1 bills, put them all over the floor. You can make snow angels every morning because we got to get some exercise and get all stretched out. Okay? Snow angels in $1 bills. That's earning nothing. That's how easy it is. Okay? That's 28,000 of those $1 bills I can pick up every year, and you can go spend. I'll come over to your house, pick them up for you, and hand them to you and say, go spend this year. All right? And now you should know what your guaranteed income is. What's your Social Security going to be? Are there any pensions? Add the guaranteed income to that number. In my example here, the guaranteed income was $40,000 a year. 40,000 plus 28 is 68,000 a year. That's your budget. Compare that to your bills, and then you'll know how much you have in fund money. Okay? This simple math, if you actually sit down and do this, pencil to paper, or like me, use a spreadsheet, this is going to help us get a grasp on our resources, our situation. It's important that we feel comfort in the fact that we've got the money to pay the bills this year, next year, next year, next year, okay? Don't worry about the details of what it's invested in yet. You know, look, we have plenty of time to work on stuff like that. What we need to do is get prepared, get a good understanding of our financial situation. Later, we can dig into the exact investments and the nitty-gritty details of things that we need to look at eventually. Well, then there's the consolidate and simplify. I'm always a huge advocate. I'm doing it to myself. I'm so busy telling other people. I looked up and I had some 15 bank accounts and I had no idea why. So I'm getting rid of all of them. I'm going down to a handful of bank accounts. There's no reason for this. We need to simplify all of this, okay? So if we're trying to prepare for the passing of a spouse, simplifying the finances is a great help. It's not only for the surviving spouse, but for your heirs as well. Going around trying to find all these hidden accounts is impossible, okay? You got a life insurance policy you bought when you were 2. Come on, where are we going to find that? How do we even know if it exists? The paper probably fell apart by now. So we got to know where all this stuff is, and we got to start cleaning it up and organizing it. Okay. Then there's some bigger decisions we have to deal with. We do need to think about the downsizing. Okay. I often talk to people about, you know, moving later in life ages you 10 years. It's stressful. It's difficult. You go through getting rid of all this stuff when you're downsizing. I've seen clients go into long-term care. I've seen clients just decide to move in their 80s, and it's not fun. It's very difficult. If you don't have a lot of reliable, trustworthy help to get moved, this is an extremely painful process, and they always come back after that looking 10 years older, okay? So please be careful about this. Moving later in life is very difficult, okay? So we need to look at your situation. We need to make sure you can afford your life. If you can't, then yes, maybe there's going to be some drastic decisions coming. But knowing that before your spouse passes helps, because you already know the things that you're going to have to do if your spouse passes, okay? So things like downsizing real estate, things like reverse mortgages, which I tend to lean towards being proactive on a reverse mortgage. And I'm sure I've got plenty of videos on reverse mortgages as well. Assisted living or long-term care. You know, look, later in life, that may be the reality. If one of you passes, the other one's going to a long-term care or assisted living facility. That happens quite often, especially in the 80s and beyond. Okay, so being aware of these choices and knowing that this stuff may happen if a spouse passes kind of makes it easier. So be prepared for these things. It doesn't mean they're going to happen tomorrow. It means that we're prepared if they happen. All right, I hope this helps. This is quite a meaningful topic. The group out in Sun Lakes asked me to prepare, and I really appreciate the suggestions. I'm always happy to create classes and topics and create videos on anything that you want. Shoot us an email if you got some ideas. If you want me to prepare some education on anything, give us a call anytime. We're always happy to help. We've had plenty of widows come in asking for help. And the funny thing is we meet a lot of couples out there and we don't see them again until somebody passes away, because maybe somebody was comfortable doing the finances. So always happy to help. Financial planning is really what we do for a living, and helping people through difficult situations is just a normal part of the day for us. It's very ingrained in what we do. Hope this helps. Subscribe if you haven't. We're uploading new videos all the time. This is a great series. And again, if you have more suggestions, let us know. See you next week with a new topic.